Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our presentation. This is our Energy Star metric update for with Gobi, and we're going to get started in just a few seconds. All right. Well, we're having a nice day here in Chicago. We're going to talk about Energy Star metric update that's happening in August. For our agenda, we're going to be going over these metrics and who's affected, what's happening, what's changing, and what can you do as a building operator or owner. As far as housekeeping goes, we've got this webinar is being recorded. There's going to be a link sent out after with the slides and the recording. You can watch it again and again. Send it to your relatives, whoever you want to check this out. There are questions. If you do have questions, we will take them. There's a chat box on the right side of the screen, and type them in. Let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll queue those up for discussion towards the end. So this is going to be a quick webinar today. So we're going to hit a lot of the highlights and really kind of the things you need to know what's going on. A little bit about me. I'm a Gobi's professional engineer. I'm a director of energy engineering here at Gobi, and been doing this for about 9 years. Actually, at the end of this month is my 9-year anniversary. So we've been at this for quite a while. We just got our 2018 Energy Star Partner of the Year with Sustained Excellence for Gobi. It's our 5th time with the EPA, a 3rd with the Sustained Excellence. We're very honored by that, and I'm part of the most active Energy Star certifier group, and we do quite a few Energy Stars. Almost 10% of all Energy Star buildings come through us for certification. We're very happy to provide that service, and we also work closely with the USGBC. We do a lot of LEED projects, get the LEED proven provider. As far as benchmarking goes, we submit to all North American benchmarks. So we spend a lot of time working with this rating system. Onto the metric change. So these space types are getting a recalibration. We got the offices, K-12 schools, retail supermarkets, hotels, warehouses, houses of worship, and bank branches. Included in offices are the courthouses and financial office. Primarily, we'll talk about this for a few seconds and figure out why. Why is the data that the benchmarking is based on the 2003 Commercial Building Energy Consumption Survey. So we're going to get it updated to the 2012 version of the CPEC survey. You can kind of see in the chart there. This is a chart for the K-12 schools, but it really emphasizes why we want to do, or why the EPA is going through this exercise. So in this chart, you'll see 80% of schools have a score of 71 or higher, which isn't quite in line with what the EPA has in mind for this program. The whole program is set to have a median Energy Star score of 50 being the national average. So they're recalibrating all the scores for these space types to be more average. Here's what's happening. So the offices, they're expecting an average reduction of 12 points for Energy Star. Also with schools -13, warehouses -7. You do get a little +1 for hotels for what it's worth, and they did take a look quite a bit. The EPA has done a lot of work, real hard work at looking at this data and trying to make sure that the metrics are calibrated and accurate, and they need to. They're in the market transformation business, so they're looking to push forward innovation and opportunity, and this is a good thing for the overall market. So in addition to this metric change, they're also bringing back the data center energy estimates. So about a handful of years ago, we used to be able to use this estimates, and the EPA is bringing it back. So we're going to be able to, if your space fits the definition of a data center, if it's 75 kW load or higher, we'll be able to apply estimates if you're not able to obtain this data from the tenant. I know a lot of buildings have a hard time getting some IT energy from their tenants to try to benchmark these spaces properly, and this is one way we can do it moving forward after August 26th. Another thing that the EPA is doing is updating the electricity source factor. So this whole system is based on energy per square foot, and it's source energy per square foot. And due to a more efficient grid, that the EPA is adjusting this electricity factor to account for the more efficient grid. So there's less electricity being wasted in the lines as it gets to your property. So this is going to actually affect all buildings. So not just the 7 that are changing for the metric data. So all buildings, depending on fuel mixture, they say could be plus or minus 0 to 3 points. I'm thinking that all electric buildings should fare fairly well with this, just because it's the electricity source factor that's getting updated for the rating. Preparing for the updates, we've got to get everybody in. Well, everybody can apply for a 2018 Energy Star Award before August 26, 2018. So the EPA is trying to help everybody get these awards in. And the only way the way that they're doing that is unlocking everybody's application for eligibility as of April 30th. So effective last week, as long as we get our data, our electricity data, our energy data updated to present or past April 30th, all applications are available or are eligible to be submitted as long as they're higher than a 75. So we're going to be working very diligently between now all the way up until August 25th to get these applications in. The EPA is also going to be hard at work reviewing and checking all of our submitted data for their during their process. The EPA isn't going to rescind any prior year awards, so you earn what you keep, or you keep what you earn. And one big thing too to note is we're going to expect to do this again in about 4 years. So the EPA is on about a 4-year cycle to update data. What can you do? There is well, the number one thing you can do as a property owner you got to save some energy. So how the EPA is in this market transformation business. They want to drive everybody to save energy, save money, and save resources. So this is their opportunity to get everybody on board and push this market transformation. What properties are going to want to do is they're going to want to talk to their chief engineers. The chief engineers know their buildings, and they're also a hard-working group that really can drive this change and try to show the best savings they can get. If you need additional help, you can talk to your other building professionals. Talk to us at Gobi. Talk to your building automation system provider. They are great, knowledgeable people that can help come up with great ideas to help move the needle. Personally, I really like a lot of the 4-foot LED retrofits. They've really come down. 4-foot LED tubes for offices. The prices on those have come way down, and a lot of things that you can do to just help save energy at your properties. Some of the elite properties out there, they're actually engaging with their tenants. So if you can really talk to your tenants, get them on board with this energy saving, it's going to actually really help you move the needle. Additionally, Gobi wants to get you submitted for your Energy Star Award. So if that's part of your service package with us, we're going to need your help in getting some of these updates. So in general, we need updated occupant counts, computer counts, vacant square feet, any data that you collect manually. We're going to need those updates. I mean, our folks are going to be reaching out to each individual property, asking for these updates, but you could be proactive and gather these updates ahead of time. What we're going to need is the corresponding dates when things change. So if someone, say a building moved 50 people in, it doesn't really help us to know that they moved in on May 8th, 2018, unless they actually moved in. It would be helpful to know if they moved in January, because then we can make that change in the Energy Star in the Energy Star profile. Send your data to support@gobiinc.com with your building name in the subject, please. And I blew through that pretty quickly. I know there's probably a lot of questions. The EPA is really a pretty good fountain of knowledge too. They also have a website with good data or good information, energystar.gov/score updates. You can always hit me up for questions, and I'm available for everybody. We have questions. Oh, here we go. So one of the questions we got is why August? Why not January or December? So why are we doing this August 26th? And actually, I've heard some folks at the EPA talk about this, and why are we doing August? August is actually an important month, and every year you'll see updates generally happen with the Energy Star program in August, mainly because it's after all of the benchmarking season. So all the city ordinances, there's a couple dozen of them around the country, and all of them get submitted, and we don't want, or the EPA doesn't want to interfere with the city ordinance submittal time. And then usually at the end of the year, after August, is a huge Energy Star push for properties getting their awards before the end of the year. So August is that middle time frame, usually where they see a little bit of a lull in the certifications, where they can actually implement bigger changes like this. We got a score for what category is healthcare in, and actually healthcare has a few categories of its own. There's hospitals and senior care and medical office buildings. There's some newer stuff on the horizon with those programs. Some additional metric updates happening in the next, I think the timeline is maybe next year, is they're hoping to bring back the award system for medical office buildings. So the big metric changes that are happening this August are not part, or healthcare systems are not part of it, but what will be affecting those types of buildings will be the electricity source change, and if there's any large computing data center type facilities there that we can account for. So I got a question on why is the EPA doing this update, and it really has to do with getting their update current, their data set current to the most recent commercial building energy consumption survey. So the data they have right now it's pretty old. It's 15 years old. So the buildings are getting compared to a 15-year-old data, and we want to make sure that they're getting compared to accurate current data. So, well, I'd say we, but the EPA, the program, they want to be sure that everything is moving in the right direction. So this is a great thing for everybody. There's a lot of opportunity. We want to be able to showcase the high risers and the good Energy Star scores for properties, and we want to make sure that everyone has the right tools to save energy and save money. Do you have any tips for improved scores? So, tips for improved scores is I would say that we want to make sure that your profile is optimized. So if you speak with a professional and someone who knows the program well, They can make sure that your buildings are set up properly in Energy Star to maximize your score. You got to make sure that your gross square footage is correct, your operating hours is correct, your current people counts are correct, that you're accounting for all of your computers, stuff like that. So the tips for having an improved score is really kind of twofold. So you got to make sure your profile is set up correctly, but you also need to reduce your energy. So this whole program is energy per square foot. So if we can reduce our energy, we'll do good. Not too many people are able to increase their square footage by doing an addition. So it's really the energy piece that everyone needs to focus on. In order to get to the get back to where you are, say for offices, if you're getting say your office reduces 12 Energy Star points, that's roughly in a lot of cases it could be about 10% of your building's energy. So just to get you back to where you are now, we need to really get that needle moved and get towards a big reduction in energy usage. So I did mention this well, there are updates to all buildings. So we don't know exactly what the score changes are going to be for every property until August 27th, when the portfolio manager comes back from being down for 24 hours. So what they're going to do is we're going to know the scores only when they come out. Gobi is actually actively working on how we're going to communicate these score changes to all of our customers after the August 26th change. Good reminder too: the old scores and awards, they are not going to be rescinded. So if you earned it, you keep it. We're gonna be submitting these 2018 Energy Star awards, and we're going to be getting them in between now and August 26th. So if the EPA approves it, then they're not going to keep it. They're not going to take it away after August 26th if the building drops below the 75 threshold. Different story for 2019. So 2019, we have to submit what score we have. The new updated scores, and we're going to work with what we have. So there's a question on transitions from Gobi to Portfolio Manager, and is it an easy move, or are they the same? So that's a good question. So Gobi is a software platform. We're a cloud-based online platform for energy management, invoice automation, and sustainability tracking. So Gobi works with alongside Energy Star Portfolio Manager. So they're two separate entities. Energy Star Portfolio Manager will take the utility data and generate score. They have hundreds of metrics in there that they can track. A lot of it having to do with energy, water, waste, and provide the greenhouse gas emissions that go with that and generate certification documents. Gobi has a lot of other functions too. So we're doing energy management, tackling invoice automation, working on utility bills, displaying utility bills for portfolios of buildings. And our team, we have a team of energy analysts, and we have an ESG team that can work on all things environmental, social, and governance. So we've got a big operation over here that we're actively working to get everyone certifications and submitted for GRES, and quite a lot of stuff going on over here. Here's a question: if you've already converted to T8s or T5s or compact fluorescent bulbs, what other recommendations can you provide for a 24-hour operation? So 24-hour operations, that's a big deal. You're a big energy consumer. So, you really want to tackle the lighting is a really good one. Generally, a lower cost one, especially if you're tackling certain areas at a time. In the Energy Star, it's really good. If you really want to tackle some some big ticket items, what you want to do is try to reduce your HVAC as much as possible in the peak months of the year. So if you're able to outpace other buildings in your region, so everything is normalized for degree days. So if it's a really hot summer and you're able to use a little bit less air conditioning, yet still keep everything comfortable for your tenants, then you'll do better in the Energy Star award system. So now, like right now, is a shoulder season. Shoulder seasons, the degree days are low. The weather is mild. You're able to a lot of buildings are able to use free cooling. That's all good things, and you need to try to not use as much, or not use a lot of HVAC in these shoulder months. But when you get into where you can really make good strides in Energy Star is when in the seasons where it's really hot or really cold, and you can try to use less energy and save some resources, save some money, and get in there for good savings. Question, do you recommend applying before August 26th? And is every site able to do it if it hasn't been a year since the last time we applied? That's a very good question, because so what the EPA is doing is they unlocked all applications. So if it's only been, say you got an award for November 2017 and you got your 2017 award, you're unlocked as of now. So there's going to be some overlap. The EPA has allowed that for a one-time exception for this year to allow a little bit of overlap from last year to this year, and allow people that want to get in these current scores before the August 26th metric change. They're allowing everyone to get in before that metric change. So all applications, as long as we get our energy data past April 30th, we're and above a 75 rating, you're able to be submitted for an Energy Star award. And yes, I do recommend getting it in well before August 26th. We're going to be submitting applications. Well, we've been submitting applications all year, but May, June, July, August, anytime now is a good time, especially. And right now is a great time to go and update your data. So go talk to your tenants, get your current tenant counts, get their computer counts. Send us your vacant square footages, because we're gonna be asking for it, and we're gonna be needing it to update your profiles, if that's part of your service. It's a question. Are you in connection with the utilities to coordinate their building reviews for upgrading to energy reducing materials? We do work. We do some energy audits in house. We have other recommended partners that we use for energy audits, and they work with utilities. When we're coming up with recommendations, we try to incorporate incentives, and because it helps the payback. So yes, we do try our best to incorporate incentives, but for your own benefit too, you can certainly reach out to utilities. I know the local utilities that I've dealt with are very proactive in meeting with buildings and letting them know that these incentives are available. Most buildings pay into energy efficiency programs. In some buildings, it's thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So you can recuperate some of that money that you're paying into the state funds, the utility funds, by pursuing these incentives. Great. Well, everyone, thank you for attending the webinar. Again, my name is Josh Schubert. I'm happy to work with anyone offline if you have further questions. Thanks for attending. And we will be sending out these slides after the webinar, so look forward to catching up with everyone else some other time. Thank you.